It's story time with Weavy Face. I'll make it interesting. I'm going to give you the history of my journey in vehicles and what led up to this one here and why I chose this one. So let's go all the way back to 2012. I purchased my very first vehicle, the Dodge Challenger. It was an SXT, it was in black. I'll throw some pictures up here. And I loved it. Brand new, off the lot. I think I paid $23,000 for it, whatever. The V6, I just knew I was the man. What was I, 25 at the time? And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was black. I named it Chaplin because my dog's name was Charlie, so I had Charlie Chaplin. It was kind of cute back then, but no matter. 2013, the very next year, I was looking on cars.com after my roommate at the time had went and bought himself a new truck. I said, I want a new car too. So I got on cars.com and I found almost my dream car, a 2007 Maserati Quattroporte. It was in black with the black wheels, and it was in Lansing, Michigan at a Chevrolet dealership of all places. And shout out to Caleb, I'm gonna go look at this car. So I took a ride up there and I made the purchase. I traded in the Challenger for the naturally aspirated V8 that made 400 horsepower. And it was a foreign. Like, why would you do that? I believe I paid 40 grand, about 39, 37.5 for it, sounds right. And then, yeah, I paid 37.5 for it, and the car had 20,000 miles on it. And I drove that thing 15,000 miles through a Michigan winter. Then when I moved to Minnesota, I drove it through a Minnesota winter. It held up so nicely. The potholes weren't very keen and very kind to the car. I had numerous flat tires, numerous dented rims, but that's kind of the territory you have to involve yourself in when you have 30 series profile tires. So moving on. So I had the Maserati, but then this car used was called a single plate clutch. So the single plate clutch is a very expensive part you have to replace every so many miles, and I didn't want to get involved with that. So I bought another car to keep the miles down on the Quattroporte. Let's fast forward again. Now I'm moving to Connecticut. So now I have my V8 that I don't want to drive that much. So I bought another V6 Challenger, named that one Rocky. And so we can fast forward again. So recently, early February, that car was involved in a rear ending. I put some pictures and videos up here. I was sitting at a light, minding my own business, and a Dodge Journey, a red one, just boom, smacked into the back of me, probably doing the speed limit like I was in the accident, so it felt like it was doing 35 miles an hour. So knocked me back into the seat. Rear bumper damage, front end damage, and the quarter panel on the driver's side was damaged. Body shop deemed the car a total loss. So now I have the opportunity to mix my powerful car and my comfortable car together, and that's how we're here. So more about why I chose this car here. I wanted a vehicle that could combine both luxury and power in the same sort of package. Yes, I like to go fast. Who doesn't like to go fast? Who doesn't want to be comfortable in their car? So why have two vehicles for that? Get them all in one and not pay an arm and a leg for it. So I paid $18,000 for this car. It had 67,500 miles on it. I've driven it about 3,000 miles in the month and some change that I've had it. I do a lot of traveling for work. You guys know that already. So anyway, some of the other cars I looked at were the Audi A7, old Audi A8, like 2013 Audi A8s, 2017 Mercedes-Benz C300 coupes. I can't do the sedans, they're everywhere. The coupes are way better looking. I even fancy the E400, 2014, 2013, I think, but you still had to put the key in the ignition for that. So I was like, whatever. So I was looking at Benz trucks like the GLK 350s. I'm like, no, I want something sportier. And fiance, she comes up in every single video. She's like, why don't you look for something even cheaper? I'm like, all right. I always fancied the Ford Taurus. Like, I was on the road going somewhere in a rental, and one drove by me and said, you know what, I've always liked those, but it needs to have the LEDs in the back, because you can get these cars with the LEDs or without them. I'm like, okay. So I went looking. So like the limited trim level for the Ford Taurus offered the LEDs. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can dig it. I can dig this. And then one of the dealerships I was at had a super high output for sale. It was about 2.5 hours away up in Latham, New York. And I said, let me go check it out. So I went and checked it out, and I loved it. It's silver. It's a nice, very basic color. It's the cop car color. So people think I'm the police when I'm behind them. It's kind of funny when they move out the way on the highway. I'm just a regular dude trying to go somewhere. And I made sure to put a deposit down and told them that I wanted it. I just need to make sure my insurance stuff went through, got my money, boom, there it is. So I went and picked it up, I think a week later, and I've been really enjoying it. This twin turbo V6, the legendary EcoBoost V6 that I've mentioned before in the Ford F-150 and all these other cars is in here. It does make 365 horsepower to the all-wheel drive powertrain and 350 foot-pounds of torque. Those are some pretty good numbers, but the car does weigh 4,300 pounds. It is a big vehicle, but it does get a move on when I need it to, and I really like it. I get a lot of torque down low, which does help me get out of like sticky situations, especially around the New York area, New Jersey area. So first, I want to shout out the original owner or whoever spec'd this car, because it is fully loaded. It doesn't have massage seats and the lane keep assist or adaptive cruise control. Oh, but it's got blind spot monitoring. It's got leather all the interior. The pedals move. I got 2-person memory seats. The telescoping steering wheel is motorized. I got the Ford Sync system, heated seats, heated rear seats, cooled front seats, heated steering wheel. I mean, I could go on and on. This car is fully loaded with features I've never even had in any of my cars before. That I also mentioned, this is my first forced induction car. All of my other cars have been naturally aspirated. The Maseratis, the Challengers, everything that I've had. So this is fairly new for me to have the twin turbo system, but I actually really like it. The gas mileage is not as great as I would like, you know. EcoBoost, or eco kind of means like economic, like it's supposed to be good. I average about 22 miles a gallon with this car all over the place. EPA says 25 highway, like 19 city. Average it all out, it's about 22, 23, depends on the grade of the highway I'm on. But again, I love this car. And let's go over some of the other features here. So this is the key here. It's a pretty standard looking key. It's actually not as heavy as some other keys I've encountered, but we do have a remote start up at the top. I'll demonstrate that later. Lock button at the bottom, unlock in the middle. Press the trunk button twice to open the trunk, and the panic button, but just leave the key in your pocket. Boom, magic. Grab the door handle, the car will unlock. Now you can get into the car. The seat is all the way pushed back. Put your foot on the brake and press the start button, and it'll go to your memory slot. See the steering wheel moved down, seat moved up, mirrors are all adjusted. Pretty fantastic. So inside the interior here, we do have a pretty advanced gauge system here. On the left there's a screen, and the right is a screen. In the middle you have your speedometer. Just kind of let you know how fast you're going. Off to your right, you do have a 7-inch touchscreen, which is the sync system. I'll go through that a little later. You have some fake looking carbon fiber where the airbag is, but the materials are really nice. Lots of leather, some cheap plastic materials here, but again, you got to cut costs where you can. So we are here in the back seat now, and as I mentioned in other videos, I drive pretty obnoxiously with the seat leaned this far back. Which is what I do, but in most situations you probably have this seat leaned a little more forward, try to have more room for my knees, but you spread them a little bit, you're good to go. It's really comfortable. This, like I said, this car had 67,500 miles on it, and what people say, the back seat, look, it was hardly ever sat in. Probably not. You're driving by yourself most of the time, but in really good condition, good shape, good comfortable leather. We have our heating seat controls down here in the middle between the two vents. We have a button on the right for hot or super hot, and the button on the left for regular hot. So it's two different modes up here compared to the 3 you have up in the front seats. No AC seats back here though, but y'all got windows for that. So one of my favorite features is the no key feature. So let's say you leave your key in the car. If you go like snowboarding or wakeboarding or scuba diving, whatever, you want to bring a key with you, you know, you got to get back in the car. You don't need the key to get in the car. You can have this passcode here. So before, used to put them right here in the door handle, but now we have them here integrated into the A-pillar. So if you slide your finger like this, I can put in my code. and the car will unlock. Don't worry about what my code is, but you want to lock it up, use these two fingers, these two, put them on a 7890, hold it down, car locks back up. Good stuff. So to use a remote start in this car, you do have to lock it first and then press the button twice up top. Pretty quiet, right? Let's give it some revs, see how it sounds. So this is the Ford Sync system. I'm not going to get very detailed about this, but it's designed in 4 quadrants. You have your upper left over here. You can kind of click anywhere in this quadrant to access the phone tab. But if you're in any of these other tabs, you can click the corners and get to another tab right away. So down here, radio. Over here, climate control. We can access the fan speeds, all that stuff. More detailed version of what you can do already on the hard buttons down here. Top right corner is your navigation. I did forget to mention this car does come with navigation. But you can kind of see this is it's a 2015 car. So the sync system is kind of slow. Press the home button, bring all 4 back. Not bad at all. I've gotten used to it. I don't complain anymore. It is what it is. This car is 6 years old. Down here is sort of the quick access menu. Source button, defrost, rear defrost, auto climate, turn the climate on and off, AC, max AC, recirculation. Mess with your sound settings here, and at the bottom I have my temperatures, and over there you have your temperatures. You know, fan speed in the middle. Pretty cool though. There's no haptic feedback. You just kind of press the button, you hear a little tone like that, and you can confirm it changed up there, 62 degrees. I press it down here again, goes back to 60, whatever I want it on. It's a solid system. It still works after 6 years. So the trunk on this car is pretty hilarious. The button is actually way down here underneath where the license plate is. Press this button once, trunk pops open. It is an absolutely massive trunk. I literally have to climb in to get my snow brush. There's a cargo net here for my immediate cleaning supplies, my grocery bags, and 20.1 cubic feet of cargo space. That is absurd. And if you need more, you have the 40-60 split where you can put down the back seats and put couches and whole mobile homes in here if you wanted to. What's going on, people? We're now inside my 2015 Ford Taurus SHO, super high output. Woo! It is a grand time. It is a beautiful day. New York City. Well, actually, I'm in New Jersey because I wanted to have New York City in the background because it's the greatest city in the world, and I will not argue with you. But I'm gonna give you some more of my thoughts on this here vehicle after we get off these cobblestone roads. Finally off the cobblestone road after about 10 minutes. No, I'm kidding. But you have to use the cobblestone road to make sure you don't speed, because you don't want to speed on that because it's uncomfortable. But it did test the sport tune suspension of this ride, and it's not that good. It's not designed to be super soft. It's just kind of a muscle car. But it is my favorite time of the day, the highway pull. So let's go ahead and get the on-ramp going here. Actually, I'm familiar with this area. Let's see if I can even do a real pull. Oh, I gotta get a ticket. Oh, easy pass. See, I'd have blasted right in the toll booth had I not known. But good thing we got easy pass. So we're gonna blast out of the easy pass as soon as I can get through. So 0 to 60 in this car is 5.8 seconds. There's 60. Not bad. 4,300 pounds. Gets moving. Then it gets tired. Just like a big dude. Not in shape.
Proceed.
But yeah, I love this car. I love almost everything about it. I'm very happy I went with this SHO here. It's worth every penny that I paid. I did try to negotiate, but they weren't budging because they knew what they had. And that's okay. I get everything I need from it. It's comfortable. I can slouch. I can sit up. I have the memory seat. Like I said, the heated wheel for the wintertime. Just went through. It is a great car. Steering is okay, moderate, but it doesn't need to be super sharp. I'm not tracking this. I'm not going to put this into a slalom, so it's not a big deal. It is just perfect for me. I can just sit here with my hand on the wheel finger on the wheel and just guide the boat, gliding along the highway with good music playing and moderate luxury, the leather seats. This is a solid car. I wonder if these were for rent at one point when they were newer. I never saw them, but I never thought that I would see myself in a Ford. It was always Chrysler, even Chevy. I was a fan of the Camaros and Corvettes, of course. But never a Ford. You know, I always told myself, only Ford I never buy is the Ford GT. I ain't got $250,000 for the, I'm sorry, I ain't got $500,000 because I believe both of them now are going for $500,000. The 05 GTs and the 2019, 2020 GTs are, I'm sorry, those are $1 million now. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, yeah, I ain't got it. So I will settle for this nice 3.6 liter EcoBoost engine, which I'm pretty sure is the same one in the Ford GT, the new one. They've just tuned the crap out of it and added stuff, but I believe it's the same one. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I do believe the 20-inch wheels do make the ride a little rougher, but I will absolutely sacrifice some comfort for beauty. What they say, beauty is pain. So if I gotta feel a few more bumps, but I'm on dubs, I will be on dubs and bumping. So if I had my way with this car and had unlimited money, but had to modify this car, I would wrap it. Now I know you guys are gonna get mad at me, but I would go with like a bright blue. One of my first cars I ever had was a 1995 Caprice Classic. It was a taxi. It used to be a taxi. It had like 220,000 miles on it. But I went to Mako and I had them painted blue. It was the brightest, most see-through blue ever. It was gorgeous. People thought it was candy, so shout out to Mako for that. But the car's no longer around, obviously. I think I'd put bigger wheels on it. I would go 22s. 24 might be too big. 22, and I actually really like the style of these wheels. So if I could get like these in a 22, I would go for it. I would lower the car, maybe half an inch or an inch. Obviously, I'd take the exhaust out, or I'd delete the mufflers like I did on my Maserati Gran Turismo. It was night and day difference. But I've also heard these without the mufflers, and they sound a little better. You can hear the turbo spooling just at idle, and it's very, very cool. What else would I do? Obviously, I've tinted the windows already. Maybe upgrade the sound system. It sounds really nice in here. Maybe throw some 12s and 10s in the back. I don't need to blow my eardrums out. I have a nice, more full, rounded sound. And of course, the downpipes, of course, the tune to get all the power. Then I'd have like the ultimate sleeper car, you know, a blue Ford Taurus that's got as much power as or has more power than a Lamborghini Gallardo. So putzing around the city or on the highway, you just feel comfortable. It's a huge car, 206 inches long, which is like 16, almost 17 feet long. It's absurd, but this is a full-size vehicle. It's the boat, and it moves. It's grand, and it's safe. Did I mention how safe it was? It got 5 out of 5 on every single safety rating except for rollover. It got 4 out of 5. Not sure how you rolled this over, but I'm sure somebody figured it out. But I love this thing. I feel great in it. One of my best decisions. In conclusion, I feel this car fits me very well. I used the word perfect earlier, but I changed my mind. It's not flashy. It's pretty toned down. It's not loud either. So I wish it did have more sound, more personality to it, but it's okay. It's quiet. It's a family vehicle. I use the analogy, this is the big guy that can run. This is the defensive end. This is the fullback. This is the tight end. So they're big, bulky, but they have a lot of power and they can get moving. So again, thank you for watching this video of the Hungry Road, the special edition. We will see where this series takes me. If I do any modifications. I did tint the windows. I did that, but that's not really a mod. I've heard these things with a downpipe, with a tune, exhaust can make upwards of 550 horsepower. Do I want to do that? Sure. But can I afford to do that? No. And if you blow the engine, I really can't afford to replace that. So we'll see what happens in the future. But again, thank you. And remember my subscriber giveaway. I don't got to keep mentioning it, but remember the subscriber giveaway. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. Stay safe, guys. Take care. 7. All right, yep, you hear me. I'm on no police. In the tooth early. No, it's free. Yeah, he's pulling. And let me go check it out. What's going on, people? It's come with the 20-inch wheels. This one is about my car key, my cue card, though.